Hey guys, here is a video showing you how to replace these spark plugs on your 2010 Ford Taurus. This has a 3.5 liter non-turbocharged dual overhead cam engine. This engine is probably found in various other Ford products, but this particular car is a Taurus. In order to do all 6 of the spark plugs, you need to remove the upper intake manifold off in order to get to the back 3 spark plugs. I do have a video showing you how to remove that. I'll put it up in the description, and I'll also there should also be a link or a box that you can click on in one of the corners right about now. So you will have to take off the manifold in order to do all the spark plugs. If you had a misfire on a specific cylinder, then that's a different story, but this is a video to show you how to replace all 6. Obviously get the manifold off. I'm just going to work on the front 3 right here, these 3 right here, and then there's also another 3 that are in the back, but the process is the same. The spark plug gap for these will be 54 thousandths. I'm using NGK iridium spark plugs, as the iridiums are what's recommended from the factory. You can use Ford Motorcraft, that's the OE plugs. But they didn't have them in stock, so I just went with the NGK Iridium IX. My particular part number is LTR5IX-11s. Again, the spark plug gap is 54 thousandths. So the first thing you will need to do is to remove the coil pack connectors. They all have little red tabs on them. Normally they're pressed up into the connector. You need to take a screwdriver, and as you can see here, they're all pushed up. You just need to push them all down, all of them, so that they're all down, and then you just take your thumb and push the little tab down and pull the connector off, just like so. Comes off real easy on all of them. And then with your 8mm, you can remove the bolts that hold down all of the coil packs. I must stress that you need to change your spark plugs when you are working on a cold engine. You do not want to do them when working on a hot engine, because you risk stripping the threads when you're going to tighten up the spark plug. And so yeah, just make sure that the engine is cold. Also, it helps you when it's cold so you don't burn your hands anyway. So go ahead and loosen up all these and take them all out. You can just set them down on the side. Now this first coil pack, you can see I already have pulled out, just for the video's purposes, but the coil packs will just lift straight out. On these, sometimes you can get them and just grab them and pull them straight out. These are a little bit tougher, so I use a screwdriver right here underneath one of the sides just to pry it up and off of the spark plug, and then you can go ahead and just set them down to the side. The spark plug tool you'll need is a 5/8 spark plug tool, and a 6-inch extension and a 3/8 ratchet to go ahead and loosen them up. If you've changed a lot of spark plugs in the past, sometimes these have rubber on the inside so that it grabs the spark plug when you pull it out, so you can pull out the old spark plug after you loosen it up. When you go to install the new spark plug, you may find that your spark plug socket gets stuck on the spark plug. So I guess you can call this a tip if you want. I like to tape the socket to the extension, so that way when I pull it up off here, I make sure that the socket comes with it, because man, it is super frustrating to get the socket stuck down in the spark plug tubes down here, and you're at it for an hour trying to get it out. So tape it first, and that way you know that the socket's going to come out. Obviously you can just cut the tape and take it off later. I just leave mine like this because I change a lot of spark plugs, so I don't even bother taking it off. So you can go ahead and just stick this down in here like this, you might have to spin it around a little bit to make sure that it engages the spark plug, and then you can go on ahead and loosen up the spark plug and pull it out. Remember, take your time with this and make sure you don't strip any threads at all. It's not a race. Okay, and then you go ahead and pull out the spark plug, and you can just set the old one down to the side. Then you want to grab your new spark plug, make sure that it's gapped to 54 thousandths, and then you go on ahead and stick the spark plug into the socket like so. Make sure it's all the way in there, and you always want to start the threads by hand. Don't get a wrench and start wrenching on it. That's a surefire way to strip the threads, or at least, you know, mess them up a little bit. So always take it and start it by hand. That way you know that it's being started gently and you can get it going in there straight. Then I like to just turn them in all the way by hand until they stop, and then I'll go ahead and tighten them down. I am not 100% sure on the torque specs for this particular car, so that's just a disclaimer. I usually just tighten them down until you know, just get them nice and tight. You don't want to go too far because you could strip it. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one up. Again, you'll get to a point where you know you can't really go much further, and then that's it. And you go on ahead and move on to all the rest of them. It's the same procedure for all of the rest of the spark plugs, including the ones on the back. You remove the red tabs to pull off the connectors, remove the 8mm bolt that's holding on the coil pack. Then you can go ahead and take the coil packs off, take out the old spark plug, put in a new spark plug in, and then all you do at this point is just slip the coil back on. Make sure it seats all the way down onto the spark plug, and then you go ahead and put the 8mm screw back in. Start these by hand as well, and then you can go ahead and tighten them up. Again, don't have to go too crazy on this. Just hand tighten it and then just get it a little snug with the wrench, and then you can go ahead and reconnect the connector back. Don't forget to push the red tab back up so that this connector doesn't come off. So yeah, like I said, you'll repeat this process for all 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know, the back one's obviously a little bit harder to reach, but you can, you know, stand to the side of the car, or however, maybe you have really long arms, maybe it's easy for you, but yeah, that's pretty much it. After you get that done and you got all the spark plug changes, you go ahead and put the upper intake manifold back on, and then yeah, that'll be it. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. And if this is your first time here, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel so that you can get many automotive repair videos. If you have any questions or comments, you feel free to leave those in the comment section below. I'm very active. I do try to answer all your guys' questions, so please don't be scared to ask me any questions that you may have. I guess I'll see you guys later. Thanks again for watching.